Do you struggle to communicate with confidence every single time you meet a group of people in a social gathering? I'm sure you tend to get fearful, anxious, and most importantly, scared simply because you are worried what these other people will think about you. You're also scared of really embarrassing yourself. If the answer to this is yes, then you are at the right place watching the right video. Hey, my name is Lalith Dhanush and I'm a communication and a career coach. In this channel, I will be helping each one of you build efficient communication skills and also a successful career. Now let's get down to the chase to the 5 points that will help you become much more confident while you're communicating. Point number 1, stop thinking about yourself. If you don't, then you will never be able to get confidence every single time you go into a social gathering. Now let me give you a small analogy as to how you could do so. In a day, a human being gets 50,000 thoughts in his head. Now out of these 50,000 thoughts, let's say you are super scared of being judged for the mistakes that you're about to make or for the embarrassing situation that you're about to create while talking to others. Do you realize that even if that individual has 10 thoughts about these mistakes and embarrassing things that you've done, it's only 0.2% of all the thoughts he would have had in one day. Now, this fact should help you ease out what you would be thinking in your brain when you walk into a conversation, because knowing this will also help you embrace your mistakes and also talk with confidence. Next, focusing on what you have to say can sound very simple, but that is exactly what you have to do. A lot of times, you might be focusing on the fear of being judged. You might be focusing on some mistake you might actually make. Rather than that, focus on the subject and why you have to say it, which will then ease out everything that you have to do. Now, let's say you don't know what you have to say. Instead of saying something, ask a question on the topic of conversation. This way, it also makes sure that you are listening to that entire conversation and makes you quite inquisitive to ask this question, and you can belong amongst a social group very easily. Now, I know a lot of you watching this video are watching it to speak confidently, but what if I said to speak confidently you must look likewise? How do you do so? There are 2 ways. Number 1, focus on your body posture. Due to a lot of nervousness, sometimes we tend to crouch our shoulders, we tend to make ourselves look much smaller, we clench our fists, and all of these things are signs of nervousness. However, if you have a broad open shoulder, you have a wide smile on your face, and definitely a swing to your walk, this confidence is definitely charm worthy. Now, the second part of this, make sure your smile is evident. Even if you're nervous, you gotta fake it till you make it. The reason I tell this is because our body has no differentiation between a fake and an original smile. When you smile, your cheek muscles automatically activates endorphins in your brain, and this will make you much more confident and approachable in a conversation in a social gathering. Sometimes in a social gathering, it's okay not to be the smartest person amongst the group. Here's why. Even though you're not the smartest, it is very important for you to be authentic and original. Maybe there are a few questions that you don't know answers to. It's okay to actually admit it to the group. Tell them that you don't know about it. This makes you much more approachable. Second, in your mind, you got to tell your inner little voice that being smart is not the most important thing. However, being an open person to correction, changes, and mistakes while talking makes everybody in that conversation much more comfortable. Finally, before you go to the event, it is quite important for you to do this one little thing. That is for you to visualize what you are going to do in the event, what kind of people you're going to meet, and also visualizing the entire venue, the atmosphere that you want to be talking in. This way, you build familiarity with your brain, and your brain does not get into panic mode every single time a social occasion pops up right in front of you. Once you visualize this, the second part of this is to plan out. You might be going there for a specific purpose. Maybe you're going in there to network and build some connections. Or maybe you're going there to look in for a business partner. Or maybe you're looking for a client or a possible new job where you could get a higher salary. Knowing your purpose, knowing your why, and planning accordingly helps your visualization come into action. So make sure you visualize and plan before you get to a social gathering. So ladies and gentlemen, the next time you go to a social gathering, I hope you remember all these 5 points and put it to effect to become a much more confident communicator. So make sure you follow my YouTube channel for more such insights that we are going to release week on week.